and today we will start a new topic. This is my lecture number 7. We will start a new topic, electric potential. So here are some points which we will discuss today. First point, EPE basic concept means electric potential energy basic concept. You can note it down one by one, the cover up topic. Second is electrostatic potential introduction. Afterward, third one is electric potential due to point charge. Next we will discuss electric potential due to system of charges, then electric potential due to dipole, then electric potential, this is equipotential surface. Equipotential surface is a new type of concept here which you will apply later on. Then relation between electric field and potential, then electric potential energy in external field and without external field. So we will discuss so many cases here in point number 8. I hope you have noted down all these points in your copy. So let's start with the first topic, electric potential energy basic concept. Okay, so here first of all I want to recall some points here. First one is, we have discussed electric field and electric force. Okay, and we have discussed so many properties of electric force. Out of that property we have discussed about conservative nature of electric force. Okay, and electric field, because electric force is conservative, so that is why electric field is also conservative. So this property we will use here to explain the electrostatic potential energy topic. Okay, so first of all, F is conservative, force is conservative, and you know that work depends on force by the relation F dot dr, integral value. This is an integration sign here, F dot dr. Dr is the small displacement, we can see it in figure. These are 2 points A and B. Okay, and a charge is present here, that is the source charge. I discussed in my lecture number 1 when I was explaining electrostatic charge, that what is the meaning of source charge and what is the meaning of test charge. So always remember, you have to keep it in mind that why you are using source charge, where you have to use the test charge. So here it is a source charge, and the 2 points A and B are situated in the electric field of this source charge. You can draw the electric field in the circular shape, in 3-dimensional spherical shape, because it is a point charge. So charge is present here, and we want to bring this test charge Q naught. Test charge is represented by Q naught. We need to bring this test charge from point B to point A. This test charge will move from point B to point A. Okay, so you can imagine the situation, because this is the source charge, so it will apply a repulsive force over this test charge in the right direction, and we want to bring this charge from B to A in the opposite of the applied force. Here this is the electrical force which is applied over this test charge by the source charge, and we are applying force, that means external agent is applying force. FEXT means what? External force. So external agent is applying force against the electrical force, and so that this test charge may move from point B to point A. So we are doing some work to bring this charge from B to A. So you know that there are 2 kind of work. One is work done on the body and work done by the body. So here we are doing some work, so that work can be converted into the form of energy. Okay, so that kind of energy is corresponding to the electrostatic potential energy, because it is linked with the charge. So we are doing some work, external work is required. Now take the cases here. If we are considering that work is done over the body, so first of all this external work will reach up to the limit of electrostatic force. That means whatever force we are applying here over the test charge, that is coming up to the limit of electrostatic force. Okay, Like initially we have applied 10 Newton force, okay, afterward we have applied 20 Newton force. Let the electrical force is having the value 30 Newton, so 10 more Newton force is required to reach up to the limit of electrostatic force. So in this manner we are just increasing the force value so that the charge can move against the electrostatic force. So that means what, we will reach up to the limit of this electrostatic force. If the two forces are equal and opposite, then the net force over this test charge body become 0. Both are in the opposite direction. So what will happen? Net force is 0 and the body will come in equilibrium. Equilibrium doesn't mean the body will come at rest. It means that if the body is moving with certain speed, then the body continue to move with the same speed. This is in accordance with the Newton's first law. You know that a body remains in its motion state or in its rest state until and unless the force is applied over it. So that means what? If no force is acting over this test charge body, because we have nullified the two forces, external force and electrostatic force. So if the two forces are being nullified with each other, then what will happen? That the test charge will move with the constant speed. Okay, speed is constant. So that is one more important factor here, that speed is constant. You can note down that this is the important factor, speed is constant. First important factor was what? Electrical force is conservative force, and second important factor is speed is constant. Okay, so here you can see conservative force means what? That when the force is applied over the body, it does not depend on the path. From if the body needs to bring from B to A, it can move from this path, it can move from this path, and it can move straight away. So you can see this is path number 1, this one is path number 2, this is path number 3. So if the work is same for all the three paths, then the force is said to be conservative. It is the basic definition of conservative force. Because electrical force is conservative force, so that is why the work does not depend on path. So whether we can bring this test charge from here in the path 1, from the path 2, from the path 3. So there is no change in the amount of work. We will do the same work over the charge body to bring it from any of the three paths. Okay, because this you can understand by the formula too. Work is equal to what? Force into displacement. Okay, we are applying some force. Here it is external force. So external force dot dr. Dr is what? It is displacement. Again we will consider mechanics portion. It is displacement. So displacement is a vector quantity and it only depends on the initial and final position of any moving body. So here the initial point is B and the final point is A. So whatever pathway we are adopting to bring this charge from B to A, the work only depends on the initial position and final position, because of the displacement depends on initial and final position. So that is why this force is conservative and work does not depend on path. Okay, I think that this point is clear to you. And second point is what? Speed is constant, that I have elaborated, that because of the net force during the path become 0. So net force is 0, that means what? No force is applied over it. So on the basis of Newton's first law, if no force is applied over the body will move with the same speed initially. Okay, whatever is the initial speed of the body, it will move with the same speed, or if the body is at rest, the body remains at rest. But initially the body was moving, the test charge was moving from B point to A point, so it will continue moving from B point to A point with the same speed. So speed is constant here. So these are the two important factors which are required here. And now come to the third factor. This is point number 3. First factor is conservative force, second factor is speed is constant, and third factor, work should be, whatever work done on the body, on the test charge body, that should be converted into energy. Because speed is constant, so change in kinetic energy, because this work should be what? it should be the addition of change in potential energy and change in kinetic energy. It is equivalent to the total mechanical change over the test charge body. Mechanical energy is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. So here W should be equal to delta U plus delta kinetic energy. Change in potential energy and change in kinetic energy. Now you can see that kinetic energy should be constant because the speed is constant. Kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. Okay, so if it is half mv square, v is constant, mass remains constant for this test charge, so change in kinetic energy should be equal to 0. So the second term will become 0. So whole work should be converted into change in potential energy. Now this is very important factor which we have discovered here, that whatever work done over the test charge body, that must be converted into the potential energy change. Okay, so this potential energy, because it is linked with the charges, so this potential energy is corresponding to the electrostatic potential energy. Okay, so you can note down the 3 important points, which is the base step of the introduction of electrostatic potential energy. First step is what? Force should be conservative. So write down the first point. First point, force is conservative. Here we are talking about electrical force and we are applying the mechanical force, external force equivalent to the electrical force. So electrical force is conservative, hence work does not depend on path. It only depends on initial and final position of the moving test charge body. Second point, speed remains same. Why speed remains same? Because the net force, the external force and the electrical force become 0. They nullify each other. So that is why speed remains same. And if speed remains same, it implies that it means kinetic energy remains constant. We will not consider the case that test charges at rest, because then there is no meaning of the motion of the body, no meaning of doing work over the test charge body. So that is why we are considering over the only that case where the speed is constant, and if speed is constant, then kinetic energy remains constant. Okay, this one is second point. And third point, that work done over the body, over on the test charge body, should be equal to change in potential energy, as change in kinetic energy should be equal to 0. Kinetic energy remains constant from the second point, so change in kinetic energy should be 0. So these are the 3 important factors for the introduction of electrostatic potential energy. So now we will introduce electrostatic potential energy. W here, it should be equal to change in potential energy. It is represented by U. Okay, now come to the case here that work is equal to change in potential energy. Now no need to draw that case where the source charge is present. These are the 2 points A and B that are present in the electric field of source charge. Now the test charge is moving from point B to A. This Q naught is moving with some speed, let it be V. So it is moving with the speed from B to A. The potential energy of test charge at B is UB and at A is UA. Okay, there must be an increase in potential energy, that we will prove later on. So first of all, because it is coming closer to the source charge, so that is why it will gain the energy. Okay, so here what will happen, UB and UA are the potential energy at 2 points. So this W can be written as UB minus of UA. Okay, you can note down this as a difference also, but here because the charge body is moving from B to A, here UA should be greater because the charge is now closer to the source charge. So but we have to write it in this manner only, UB minus of UA. This is the amount of potential energy, and moreover remember this thing, the potential energy in the stored form should always with the negative sign here. So this result will come with the minus value. So it is correct case, you can write here in this manner, UB minus UA. So this one is W. Okay, got it? Now we will consider the case that potential energy at B point we will calculate and potential energy at A point we will calculate, and afterward we will derive that what is the value of work which is equivalent to potential energy. Okay, so for this we will consider one case, and that case is the electric field of a charge body. This one is electric field of a charge body. Always we make a circular shape structure around a charge body in two-dimensional. This is two-dimensional figure. So this source charge is present here, Q, at the center, and let us consider an infinite distance. This dotted line shows the infinite distance. Here there is an infinite point. Dotted line means what? We don't know the infinite length. Okay, so that is why we always make a dotted line to consider the infinite position, and the test charge is present at infinite position. Now remember this thing, that this is the electric field of source charge. So the source charge will start the force of attraction or repulsion. Here is the case of repulsion because both are the positive charge body. So it will start force of repulsion only from the limit of electric field. There is no force applied over this test charge above this limit. So we have considered it as a P. Okay, so P point, from the P point the force of repulsion would be applied over this test charge body, and before that we need to do work to pull it or to bring it into the field of this test charge. Okay, so here we have taken two small position and we will integrate it. We need to solve this condition. The A and B point which we have considered earlier, these A and B points are given here and they are dx distance apart. This is dx distance. The radius of the electric field of point source charge is r, and the distance of this position AB from the center of this electric field is x. Okay, so these are the situation, and you can consider, you will note down, explain each and every terms here. You will write in theory whatever I explained verbally, that each and every points you will note down to describe the derivation steps. Okay, so here what we have to do, we have to bring this test charge till the limit of P point. Till from the P point only the force of repulsion would start by the source charge. Okay, so we need to do some work. We are doing some work over this test charge. We are external agent here. Now this is corresponding to the definition of electrostatic potential energy. Now I am going to define electrostatic potential energy. You can write this definition, EPE, electrostatic potential energy. Amount of work done on a test charge to bring it from infinity to a point in an electric field of source charge is called electrostatic potential energy. This one is the definition on the basis of basic concept I've described earlier. Amount of work done on the test charge to bring it from infinity to a point in an electric field of source charge is called EPE, electrostatic potential energy. Now remember, infinity is not that you are situated in this room, that source charge is situated in this room and infinity is in the space. No, that is not the condition. Infinity is the place. It may be situated in this room only. You know that force of attraction and force of repulsion starts with a very small distance. Okay, so that is why you cannot say that infinity is present in space or in universe only. It is present in the same room where the limit of force of attraction or repulsion removed off. So from that limit we can say that infinity points starts. Okay, so that is the condition, and you can note down this definition because it is very important to see the steps, each and every steps of solving electrostatic potential energy. Okay. Now come to the derivation step. What will we do? We will take the case that work done, the small amount of work done to bring the test charge body from B to A. Okay. Before this, we need to see the direction of force so that we can find out the angle between the electrical force and the external force value. So here the external force is applying from B to A. This is F external, and the direction of electrical force should be here in the opposite direction, FE. This is electrical force, because electrical force, due to electrical force, the source charge will repel the test charge. So that is why the direction of electrical force should be opposite to the motion direction of the test charge. So this is the case. Now you will say that it was told earlier that there is no electrical force here and between the point AB. The electrical force starts with the point P. So why we are considering the case? This is only the mathematical steps. We cannot take these AB points inside the electric field. So that is why we have considered the AB point outside the electric field of this test charge. Okay. So that is why we can consider that if the force would be applied in between the point AB, so the direction of that force should be towards the infinity length. Okay. So here we will take the case dW. dW should be equal to external force FEXT dot dr. In place of dr, what will we put? Dx. We have mentioned the case here as dx. So F dot dx. To replace this value, because if we will apply the value of external force, it will come in the form of ma, mass multiplied by acceleration, and here there is no acceleration, so we will not apply the case of external force in the form of mechanical force. We will apply the case of electrical force. So we need to convert this external force in electrical force form. So how will we convert it? It would be with the minus sign, Fe into dx. Now we will remove this dot product. Dot product indicate the angle between the external force and the displacement. Here the external force and the displacement are in same direction, so angle is what? Cos 0, because of the same direction. So cos 0 means what? 1. So these are in the opposite direction, so that is why I have placed minus sign. You can assume in another manner too, that you can consider the case that in place of this F external you can note down Fe and dot dx. Okay, and dot should be in between the electrical force and the displacement. The angle is what? It is cos 180 degree. Electrical force is applied towards the infinity and displacement is towards the center. So angle between the two is 180 degree and cos 180 degree is minus Fe dx. So in both form you will get the same result. So that is why you can assume any of the two. Now Fe dx, this is the value of dW. We need to calculate the whole amount of work to, in accordance with the definition, from the infinity distance to the P point distance from the center point. So we will take the case that total amount of work done to bring the test charge body from infinity to point P should be integration of dW. That should be integration of minus Fe dx, and the limit is what? We are bringing this test charge body from infinity to P point. So P point is at r distance from the center and infinity point is at infinity distance from the center. So W is equal to minus sign, you can take out infinity and r. In place of Fe we will note down the formula K. K, you know that it is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught. K, source charge, test charge divided by the distance between the two. Because we have considered AB point, so distance will be what? X square. This is the formula for force into dx. Now W is equal to minus K. Take out the constant term outside the integration value, that means Q naught you can take out, and integration infinity to R 1 over X square into dx. Now you can see that W is equal to minus K Q naught and integration value. This will come as 1 over X square integration. The formula will be X to the power n dx. Integration of this will be what? X to the power n plus 1 over n plus 1. So here the n value is what? Minus 2. 1 over X square means what? X to the power minus 2. So here it will come as x to the power minus 2 plus 1 over minus 2 plus 1. What will be the result? X to the power minus 1. Minus 1 means what? 1 over x, and minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1. So that minus will come here and we can take out this minus here. Outside the bracket we will get it as plus sign. Afterward infinity to r. Now put the limit value. So K Q naught 1 over r minus 1 over infinity. Then you will get the result. Put down the value of K. It is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught over r. 1 over infinity is 0. So this is the result of U. That is W, and W is equal to U. So now we got the value of U as 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught over r. This one is very important terms. So now what we have done till the time? First of all, we have got the basic idea of electrostatic potential energy, from where it comes. Then we have derived the mathematical form and we have elaborated the formula for electrostatic potential energy. I hope it is understood to you, because the next term, that is electrostatic potential, is linked with the same topic. So we will go to the same. And here one more thing is required. This is the formula related to infinity to point P situation. If it is delta U, then you can write it as UB minus UA. And there is nothing very difficult in between the formula, because initially you have derived the formula by taking the position as infinity. You will get the formula 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught. Q naught remains the same. The position of B point from the center, let it be x1, and position of A point from center x2. So you will get the value in this term. So this is the more generalized formula for the change in potential energy from B to A point. Okay. So I hope it is clear to you. You can note down the steps. It is very important. Okay. Now I start the next case, electric potential. Electric potential or electrostatic potential, as I have written here, electrostatic potential So that query is what? Static is here, electrodynamics potential is also present. Yes, electrodynamic potential is also there when the source charge is moving with some speed. Remember this whenever I am explaining some topic. So go through the, you can imagine the diagrams which I have mentioned earlier. That diagrams are very important. So always keep in mind that the diagram of AB position and the infinite, from the infinite position the test charge is moving from infinity to a point P in the electric field of source charge. So always remember that whenever I am discussing, it is related to the previous position. So every topic is interlinked with the previous topic. So always imagine that points, that topics, whenever you are going through the any new topic. Here it is electrostatic potential, electrodynamic potential is also present, I told it. Now come to our topic, electric or electrostatic potential. I told the definition that U, what is U here? If the body is moving from, test charge body is moving from infinity to P point. So that is corresponding to, this is corresponding to electrostatic potential energy. Body is moving, test charge body is moving from infinity to P point. So here the definition was what? The work done to bring the test charge, here I can draw here, the work done to bring the test charge from infinity position to a point in an electric field of source charge is called electrostatic potential energy. So in the same definition, if you have written it in your copy, so in the same definition again see the same page, and in place of that test charge you will write down unit charge. Now I am repeating the definition, that work done to bring a unit positive charge, in place of this test charge I am writing here as unit positive charge, one charge value. So the work done to bring a unit positive charge from infinity to a point in the electric field of source charge is called electrostatic potential, that is V. The representation here it is V. So we will write it as the formula U or W, we can write it as W also, divided by Q naught. Unit positive charge, how will we get it? By dividing the value of Q naught from the U value, U formula. So V basic formula, electrostatic potential is regarding with the U divided by Q naught. Okay, this one is the formula, and afterward you will get this formula for, this one is the basic formula, remember this formula, P is equal to W by Q, and U, W by Q or U by Q naught. So in place of this we will write down the value of U, 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught divided by R. R is the position of point P from the center of source charge, and 1 by Q naught. Q naught and Q naught will be cancelled out, and we will get the term of electrostatic potential as Q divided by R. Okay, this one is the formula for electrostatic potential. Now it is a new quantity, this one is a scalar, and afterward we can find out the unit of this quantity. Unit, that unit is V is equal to U by Q naught. U, for U we will note down the unit as joule, and for Q coulomb, so it will come as joule coulomb inverse, and combinedly it is called volt. Very common and very general term you use. The short representation is again V. So volt or V is a representation of unit of electrostatic potential or potential difference. Okay, so this one is the unit. Corresponding to it you can find out the dimensional formula too, that you did in class 11. You can calculate the dimensional formula. Along with this value you will get the result. For joule you will get it as ml2 t minus 2, and for coulomb inverse you will get at minus a minus t minus, and then you will get the formula for dimensional formula for electrostatic potential. But remember one thing, electrostatic potential does not exist practically. Okay, why? because out of the 2 points, here the 2 points are, one is A, second is B, and the test charge is moving from B to A. Here it is test charge, it is moving from B to A. In the electric field of this source, charge is present here, and this whole area is corresponding to the electric field of this source charge. So what will happen, that this Q naught charge moves from B to A. So the potential at B point is VB, the potential at A point is VA. So whenever it is moving from the two, in between the 2 points, we will take the potential difference, the difference of the two potential corresponding to B point and potential corresponding to A point. Okay, out of the 2 points, if assume that out of the 2 points, the B point is situated at infinity. This is infinity position and B point is situated at infinity. So it is shown that potential at infinity is equal to 0. So then the potential difference delta V, which is equal to VB minus VA, is equal to only VA, the potential at A. So that is the basic difference between electrostatic potential and electrostatic potential difference. Potential difference actually exists, but potential, electrostatic potential is the imaginary thing when we imagine any of the 2 points at infinity. And the practical cases are here. When we draw a battery, this is the positive terminal of battery and negative terminal of battery. So positive terminal means what? It is at higher potential, negative terminal is at lower potential. So what will happen? That there is a potential difference between the two. Whatever be the value of EMF of this cell, that is corresponding to the potential difference. So this is potential difference. In short, it is written as PD. So potential difference should be equal to positive terminal value minus negative terminal value. So there is a difference of potential, not the potential. Again, if we are taking the case of resistor in a circuit, so along with the resistor, across the resistor we have taken 2 points A and B. Potential at A point is VA, potential at B point is VB. So it depends on the potential difference, that how much current will flow through the resistor. If the VA is at higher potential, then VB, the potential at B point is lower as compared to potential at A point. Then the current will flow from A to B. If taking the another case, if potential at B point is greater and as compared to potential at A point, what will happen? The current will flow from B to A. So one important conclusion is coming here, is the result, conclusion of this overall explanation, that the current always moves from higher potential to lower potential. Or in other word, in very basic term, we can say that positive charge, current is corresponding to positive charge. Positive charge flows from higher potential to lower potential, and vice versa. The reciprocal, the reverse of this one is electron motion. Actually, you know, I will elaborate the topic in conduction of current through a resistor, through a conductor body. So if this one is the case, current always flows from positive terminal to the negative terminal. This is positive and this one is negative. So actually the electrons flows from the negative terminal, electrons flows towards the positive terminal and across this resistor. Okay, but we consider the current. Current is an hypothetical thing. It does not flow in the circuit. Actually the flow, there is a flow of electron in the circuit. So here from this circuit only, the simple circuit which you heard in, which you read in class 10th even. So here the current, that means positive charges flows from higher potential to lower potential and negative charge flows from lower to higher potential. This is very important conclusion we got from this explanation, that positive charge always flows from higher potential to lower potential and negative charge flows from lower to higher potential. Okay, positive charge, that I have elaborated in my lecture number 3 in the electrostatic field introduction, that positive charge flows in the direction of electrostatic field, while negative charge flows opposite to the direction of electric field. Again, positive charge can be accelerated along with the direction of field, while negative charge deaccelerated in the direction of field. Field direction that stops the negative charge, that deaccelerate the negative charge if it is moving towards the field. Okay. So you can note down this conclusion, that first point we have concluded here, that first one is positive charge flows from positive terminal to negative terminal or higher potential to lower potential. Remember this point, it will come in many other topics. So positive charge always flows from higher potential to lower potential. Second point, negative charge flows from lower potential to higher potential. Third point is electrons always moves opposite to the direction of electric field. If the electric field direction is here, this is electric field, uniform electric field, then the electron, this one is electron or negative charge, it will move opposite to the direction of field, while a positive charge always moves in the direction of field without applying any force. If we place a proton here in the field, it starts moving in the direction of field. If we place an electron in the field, it will start moving opposite to the direction of field. So positive charge moves in the direction of field and negative charge moves opposite to the direction of field. Third point, that whatever be the next point, I don't remember how many points I told. And next point is what? The positive charge accelerated in the direction of it. If we place any positive charge here in the electric field, then positive charge become accelerated here. We are not applying any force. Here the force is applied by electric field. So this positive charge starts accelerating in the direction of field. But negative charge deaccelerating in the direction of field. It will deaccelerate. If we forcefully want to push this electron towards the direction of field, it will deaccelerate. We need to apply more and more force to move it in the direction of field. Okay. So that is the very important conclusion here. I hope you have written all these points. So this one is the base concept, electrostatic potential. Is it clear to you? I hope that if you have noted down some steps, it must be clear to you. Okay, that is all in electrostatic potential topic. Okay, next come to electric potential due to point charge. So that electric potential, I have done the derivation here, that I told that V is equal to what? 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R. That I have calculated from the work formula, from the basic formula of potential, which is equal to W by Q naught. This one was the basic formula, and W value is what? 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught divided by R, and then you will get it as Q naught cancel, and you will get this formula. So if it comes in examination that derive the electrostatic potential due to point charge, what you have to do? You will do the same derivation of work and potential energy which I did earlier, and in the last step you will write down this formula, that electrostatic potential is equal to W by Q naught, and you will get this step, and afterward you will get the last formula of electrostatic potential due to point charge. This is the point charge, source charge Q, this one is the point charge, and we got the formula for electrostatic potential. Okay, I hope it is clear to you. Now you can see from this result that electrostatic potential is inversely proportional to distance. Okay, V is inversely proportional to R. The farther the point, if we want to calculate the electrostatic potential at any point, at any point which is situated at R distance apart from the source charge, then electrostatic potential depends, it is inversely proportional to the distance R. So here we have taken the 2 points A and B, and here it is the source charge. So where the electrostatic potential is more, VA, and this one is VB. So is VA is greater or VB is greater? It depends on distance. Obviously the distance of A point is, let it be R1. The distance of B point from the source charge is R2. So R2 is greater than R1. Greater the distance, smaller the electrostatic potential. So we will get VB is lesser than VA. B point is at larger distance, larger the distance, lesser the electrostatic potential. So that means what? The potential at B point is lesser than the potential at A point. So whenever we will get the difference of the two, we can take the value as VA minus VB. Then we will get the positive result of potential difference. Remember this potential difference, it is also called voltage. When we will consider this potential difference in a circuit, it is called voltage. Now take the case, this one is a positive charge, okay, and electric field lines are emitting out of the positive charge, you know this, and one point is P, another point is Q. So it is, I want to ask one question here, that VP is greater than VQ or VQ is greater than VP, or I can ask this question in this manner, the potential difference, that is VP minus VQ, will be positive or negative, first case. And the second case, that minus sign is here and electric field lines are towards the minus sign. This is A point, this one is B point, and you have to tell that potential difference PD, that is VB minus VA, is positive or negative. Okay, both are the cases. You can note down this these two conditions and you will tell the answer in my comment box, that what should be the answer of this question. Okay, this is today's question for you. I am repeating this question. You have to calculate the potential difference VP minus VQ, whether it will be positive or negative in this case. And here you have to calculate the potential difference VB and VA, whether it will be positive or negative in corresponding to the second figure. Draw this figure and tell the result. It is very simple question and you can do it. I hope you have drawn the figure. Okay, come to one more case I want to give because now I am in flow in this topic, so that is why there are so many questions that are in my mind. I want to give some questions. This is a uniform electric field, okay, and there are two charges, one is alpha particle and one is beta particle, okay, and you have to draw the direction of alpha particle and beta particle in this electric field, okay, and whether alpha or beta particle are will be accelerated or deaccelerated. Note down the question. First question number 1 from this figure is, trace the direction of alpha beta particle. Second question, that whether the particles will be accelerated or deaccelerated. Okay, these are the two questions related to the figure, and I hope you will solve these questions and you can write down the answer in my comment box. Okay, so these are the 2 points, electrostatic potential and potential difference. I told in circuits we told it as we say it as voltage. Okay, in circuit we will consider this potential difference as voltage. Whenever we say voltage means what? It is potential difference. Okay, now come to this point also. I have discussed that electric potential due to point charge and graphical representation. Now we can draw this graph too. This is V, this one is R. So on the basis of this formula, remember this formula, no other variable term other than R. Q is constant here, the source charge value. So the graph will come here in this manner. This one is the graph. Okay, we can draw the graph here for E2. If E, electric field, is taken on the y-axis, then the formula for electric field, E is equal to what? 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R square. So it depends on R. Then the graph of E is more steeper, like in this manner. This is the E graph and this one is V graph. Okay, because electric field is inversely proportional to R square and electric potential is inversely proportional to R. So that is why the graph of E will be here in this manner and graph of V here will come in this manner. So this may be asked in different competition or in different examination. So always remember the graph. Remember to draw the graph for various formula. Now come to next point. Fourth point is electric potential due to system of charges. We are taking the case V due to system of charge. Very simple. What we have to do, we have to draw one coordinate, y-axis, x-axis, and let the source charge is situated here. We no, don't consider the source charge here. This is origin position only. We have to consider many charges. System of charges are given, so we can't take only one charge. So let us take many charges. This is a system of charge. Here it is Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5, Q6 and so on. So many charges we can take. So here we have to calculate the electric potential at point O. What is the significance of electric potential? We calculate the electric potential at any point. So here we are considering point O where we are calculating the electric potential. Why I have chosen this O point? Because we can take the distance of different charges from the origin point. So that is why I have chosen origin point here. So take the position vector of charge 1. Charge 1 as R1. Position vector of charge 2 as R2. Position vector of charge 3 as R3. Charge 4 R4. Charge 5 R5. Charge 6 R6. So these are the position vector of different source charge in a system, and we are calculating that electric potential at point O due to this system of charge. You know that electrostatic potential is a scalar quantity, so we always consider the sign of source charge. If the source charge is with plus sign, so we have to consider the plus sign. If the source charge is with minus sign, then we have to write down the minus sign in the formula. Electric potential is not a vector sign, vector quantity. So that is why we will not consider the direction here. Whatever be the direction of potential has no direction even. So we don't need to consider the direction of this electric potential. So we will take the case that Potential at O point due to system of charge should be potential at O point due to first charge, due to second charge, third, and so on. I have taken the case till Q6. You can take many cases till Qn. So if there are Qn charges, then we can take the case till n. So V1 plus V2 plus V3 up to so on. So we will write the formula one by one. 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught is the constant value for the first potential V1. We will write down the source charge as Q1 and the distance of source charge from the O point as R1. For second, Q2 over R2. For third, Q3 over R3, and so on, Qn over Rn. Okay, this is the formula, combined formula for electric potential at O point due to system of charges. Then VO is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught. We can write as the summation n running from 1 to n. हमने कहाँ तक लिया? That n charges तक. So that is why summation is running from 1 to n, and we will write here. You can write here as I because both will be the same term. So we will write here as I. I running from 1 to n. So it will come as Qi divided by Ri. So first you will, summation means what? Addition. So first you will place the value I as 1, then 2, then 3. You will get these terms here. So this one is the generalized formula for electric potential at point O at any point due to system of charges. Okay, you can calculate it, and these steps are important to solve the numericals. In many numericals you will see that system of charges are given and you have to calculate the potential at any point due to many charges, 2 charges, 3 charges, 4 charges. So you will apply the same steps and you can easily calculate the electric potential, but keep in mind that you have to apply the sign of charge in the formula. So if whenever there is a plus sign, you will apply the plus sign. Whenever you will get the minus sign in question, you will apply the minus sign of charge. This you don't apply in the case of superposition principle in electrostatic field, because in that case we take the direction. Okay, now this fourth point is done. Now come to the next point, electric potential due to dipole. Okay, so dipole. We are considering the fifth case, electric potential due to dipole. We will take the variable case. As you know that in case of dipole we have solved electric field due to dipole. There were two cases. One was that electric field in axial position of the dipole, and electric field at any point at equatorial position of the dipole. So here we are considering the variable case. Generalized formula we will get here after this derivation, and then we can take the angle value, and then you can consider the two case of axial position and equatorial. We will not do two derivation here. So this one is an electric dipole. You know that dipole is very small, tiny object, because the dipole length is very small. So here this one is a dipole. This is minus q charge plus q charge, and we have taken a variable point here. This one is a point P from the center position C of the dipole. Okay, and this point P is at r distance from the center position. We can take the two positions. It's not coming exactly straight away. P point. Okay, so this is R, and now we will take the two case for plus point R1 and for minus sign R2. So these are the two position, and this is making an angle theta. The position of point P from the center position making an angle theta. Okay, now see this situation here. If this theta becomes 0, the point P will come here, and this will be the this is the apparent position of point P, and point P will come in the axial position of this dipole. If the theta become 90 degree, the point P will come here along with the perpendicular line here at this point P, and then it is the equatorial position of the dipole. Point is situated at equatorial position. So that is why we have taken the variable case here. Now see, we can draw perpendicular line from 2 points. This is A point, this one is B point. From B point we have drawn a perpendicular distance. Okay, let it be P point. No, we have mentioned here M we can take, and from the A point we can draw one perpendicular, and we can draw the CP line backward, and this point is N. Okay, M point we have taken here. This one is angle theta, so it is sure this one is also angle theta. Okay, let the dipole length, the total length is 2L I have taken earlier, so one length is what? L. So here you can write down the points. AC is equal to L is equal to BC. Okay, and afterward you can see why we have drawn the perpendicular line, so that because if the situation we are taking that P point is very far from the dipole, this R length is very far, so as far the point P is going from the dipole position, the smaller will be this angle, angular angle. You can take this omega. Omega will be smaller if the point is situated very far from the dipole position. You can consider this case here. This is angle theta, because you can see here the body, this one is the tree, let it be a tree. This tree is closer to the point of observation, so the tree is making an angle theta. This is mensuration. Now take this tree at very far point. So how will you draw this theta? Again very smaller, more smaller, this one. So now the same tree which is very far from the point of observation is making at least half angle, half of the previous angle. If it was theta, it is almost theta by 2. So if the object is very far from the point of observation, then the angular position of the object become very lesser. Okay, this is very important aspect you can imagine here. That is why I have drawn this figure to explain you. Okay, so here if the point P is situated very far from the dipole, then the angle omega become very lesser than the previous value. As the point come closer to the dipole, the angle formed at the two sides of the dipole become larger. Okay, so here this is theta, and if the point is very far, then MP is equal to BP. We have drawn this perpendicular line just to equalize these two sides, these two distances. So MP is equal to BP and AP is equal to NP. Okay, this is very important factor which we have to use here. So that is why I am taking the case here, and you will go through it. Now see here, we need to calculate the potential at point P due to first charge, and then potential at point B due to second charge, and then we will calculate it. That was the case. Okay, so what will we do? In place of this one, we will do one more another term. We can calculate this one V1 as V minus, we can take it. So V minus is equal to K 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught. I will not keep here. So K minus is here, so minus Q will come. minus q and the position of minus q from the P point. So what is that position? This is equal to R2. Okay. Now V plus is equal to what? It is K, because we have taken plus charge, so plus Q divided by the position of plus Q from the P point as R1. Okay. Now what is the value of R1 and R2 in the form of R? We can write down the value in the form of R, because we will not take so many terms here. So R2 we can write as minus sign, we can take here outside the bracket, KQ over R2. So R2 is equivalent to NP. Okay, R2, this R2 is equivalent to NP. Now NP is equal to what? NP is equal to NC plus CP, and CP is equal to what? CP is equal to R. We have taken the position CP as R. You can write down here CP is equal to R. So R2 is equal to NP, and NP is equal to, in place of NP I am writing here NC plus CP. And now plus KQ divided by, in place of R1 you will get as MP. R1 is equivalent to MP distance, and MP is equal to what? CP minus of MC. CP minus of MC. Okay. Now I want to rub these terms which I have solved here till the point 5. So we can write V minus as minus of KQ divided by NC. What is the value of NC here? This AC is equal to L, and this one is theta. So this one is the perpendicular line. You can see this one is perpendicular and this one is base. So NC is corresponding to base. So angle is equal to, if we are taking cos theta, so cos theta is equal to base over hypotenuse. So NC over hypotenuse is what? L. So cos theta, roughly you can write cos theta is equal to what? NC over L. So what is the value of NC? L cos theta. Here we have to put the value of NC. So it will come as L cos theta, and CP is equal to R, that we have considered here. So this plus R. Afterward come to the next term, V plus, that is equal to plus KQ over, first of all CP is equal to R, CP is equal to R minus of MC. Now what is the value of MC here? This one is L again, and this one is theta, so it is perpendicular, so MC is corresponding to the base. Again for the base we will take the cos theta term. Cos theta is equal to base over hypotenuse, so MC base is equal to what? L cos theta, so R minus of L cos theta. So these two terms we got from the result. Now we can rub this figure. Okay, leave it. So total potential at P point we are calculating. It should be V plus plus V minus. Okay. Now from here, now I am doing in this side, Vp is equal to V plus value is, this is equation number 1. V plus is KQ. You can take these term common, V plus plus V minus. So KQ you can take common, and it will be 1 over R minus L cos theta. This is with plus sign and this is with minus sign, so minus will come here, and 1 over R plus L cos theta. Now steps are easy, you have to apply only mathematical terms here. So A plus B, A minus B, it will come as A square minus of B square. r minus L cos theta. So here it will come as r plus L cos theta minus of r minus will become plus L cos theta. Okay, cancel the terms, plus minus here, and L cos theta become 2L cos theta. So take this term here, I am doing here. Vp is equal to KQ into 2L cos theta divided by r square minus of L cos square theta. So now put the value of K to get the terms. 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q into 2L. Q into 2L is P, dipole moment. So P cos theta divided by r square minus of L square cos square theta. So this one is the generalized form, and if we take the case that r is very greater than L, you know that dipole length is very small, dipole length is 2L. So obviously r is very greater than L, and cos theta maximum value is +1, minimum value is -1. So here if we take the +1 or -1 value, then also the second term is very less as compared to r terms, first term. So we can nullify, we can neglect this term as compared to r. Then we will write here 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught P cos theta divided by r square. So that is the formula for electrostatic potential at point P due to electric dipole. Now you can take the two cases which I discussed, as shown earlier, that if this theta is 0, the point will come here in the axial position. So case number 1, for axial position, we will get the result. We have to take, we have to put this theta value as 0. So here we will get Vp in this result. Vp is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught P cos 0 over r square. Now cos 0 is 1, so one value you can eject out, and you will get this term Vp is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught P over r square. Now take the case number 2. That for equatorial position, Vp is equal to, now for equatorial the point should be at perpendicular line from the center position. So it will come as theta is equal to 90 degree. So cos 90 is equal to 0. So overall result will come as 0. So potential at equatorial position should be 0. So there will be no potential in equatorial position at point P, and here for axial position the potential is this one. Now you can draw the graph for Vp and r square similar to the graph I have shown in between the V and R for the electric potential. Okay, I hope this derivation is clear to you. It is one of the most important derivation in your syllabus. So go through with this derivation, write down the step many times, and you will get command over this derivation. So no need to worry here. And remember this thing, I told it earlier that every time you need to write down the formula and concept in a very small note copy. Different in the one separate copy you can take, and you can note down each and every concept, corresponding concept, 1 or 2 point concept you can note down, and you can write the formula, whatever formula you are getting by different derivations, because there are so many derivation in book number 1. Okay, so before modern physics we will be having so many derivations, so it will be better for you to write down each and every formula and corresponding concept in concise form, point wise. You can write down the concept, and then only you will get command over the physics subject. Potential, you can just find out from this word only. Equi means equal, potential, surface. Okay, if there is a source charge Q, so in some cases, in some specific situation, what happens that if we are considering the three-dimensional space, there are the spherical surface, and in that spherical surface at all points, there are so many points over the equipotential surface. At all points, the potential value is same. Okay, this does not happen in all cases. You can see that the distance of each point, this is the figure like this way here, the distance of each point over the surface, this is a surface, over this surface is at equal distance. So that is why what happened, that formula for V is equal to what? 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R. So Q is same, the source charge is same, and the distance is corresponding to the radius in the spherical. This is an arc of this particular sphere or circle. So that is why here what will happen, that because the R value is same for all the points, so potential is same for all the points. So potential at each and every point in the three-dimensional space, we can say that potential at all the points are same. So that is why this surface is called equipotential surface. Okay, so we can define equipotential surface, the surface and in which potential, electric potential is same at all the points over the surface is called equipotential surface. So this one is equipotential surface. We can draw the family of equipotential surface. We can take one more arc in three-dimensional space, and we can take the points, the distance of each point from this source charge, that is, let it be R dash. So distance is equal R dash and the charge value is same Q. So that is why this is another equipotential surface. Similarly, we can draw so many equipotential surface here. So this is the family of equipotential surface. Okay, this one is the family. There are 3 members in family. 1, 2, 3. So this is the family of equipotential surface where the source charge is same and the surfaces are at some distance from the source charge. Can you tell me that for which member of the family of equipotential surface the potential value is minimum? The potential here is V, here let it be V1, here it is V2, here it is V3. So out of the 3 family members, for which family member of equipotential surface the potential value is minimum? This will be corresponding to surface number 3, minimum. V3 is lesser than V2, which is lesser than V1. It is on the basis of again same formula as I told earlier when I was discussing electric potential topic. Distance is more, then that means what? Electric potential is lesser. So electric potential is the least for V3 surface and it is comparatively greater for V2 than V1 surface. So at all the points the potential is same. So it is called equipotential surface, this is called equipotential surface, this is called equipotential surface because the source charge is same for all the 3 surfaces. So this is the family of equipotential surface having the different potential value. I hope it is clear to you. So there are 2 kinds of equipotential surface. One may be spherical, EPS, equipotential surface, EP surface or equipotential surface. Okay. Second is plane equipotential surface. One more is there. Third one, cylindrical EP surface. Now when we get this term cylindrical EP surface, and how will we get plane equipotential surface? You can see here. In place of point charge, if we are taking a line charge, this is a line charge. In Gauss theorem, I explained 3 application of Gauss theorem. In that application, we discuss about line charge, plane charge, and spherical charge conductor. So here I have taken the case of line charge. So for this line charge, we will get plane equipotential surface family. These are parallel to each other. So this one is plane equipotential surface. Okay, and you can find out farther the equipotential surface, so lesser the potential. V1, V2, V3. So V3 is least and V1 is maximum. Now cylindrical, how will we get the cylindrical equipotential surface? If we are taking a plane surface, this is having some area, so it impact more, so you will get the equipotential surface like this manner. One equipotential surface, other equipotential surface, and one more we can draw, or least we can draw here. So there are 2 equipotential surface here, surface number 1 and surface number 2. So this is cylindrical equipotential surface when there is a cylindrical surface structure or 2-dimensional surface structure of the source charge. This one is the source charge. So on the basis of source charge only we can draw the type of equipotential surface. So that is the property of equipotential surface, and these are of 3 kinds. You can write down these 3 kinds of surface. Okay. Now more things I want to tell you. I have drawn one point charge. This was the simplest case, that is why I have taken here. This is a equipotential surface, surface number 1. So you can see here the point charge apply the force here in this direction. So force here is in this direction, so the direction of electric field is also in towards the same direction of force. So electric field is always perpendicular to the equipotential surface. Remember this point. You can note this point. I told each and every concept you can write point wise in concise form in your note copy separately. So that will be beneficial for you. So electric field is perpendicular to the equipotential surface. Okay. If we are going through the parallel component, we will not get any component of electric field. Here, this electric field is not possible. The parallel component of electric field is not possible, and we can prove it mathematically, but later on. Okay. So there must be, point number 1 is what? Electric field must be parallel, perpendicular to equipotential surface. And second point, no component of electric field should be parallel to equipotential surface. Remember this thing. So these are the very important 2 points regarding with the electric field and equipotential surface. So remember this point and note them. Two points, one more point I just recall. The third point is that 2 equipotential surface cannot cross each other. This one is one equipotential surface. I have drawn it in the focus in the front view. If you are watching anything from the front view, you will only see the side of that view. There are two kind of view, front view and side view. So not the front view, side view we are taking. Front view is from this side. Here the front view of surface, it will look like this. This is the front view, and the side view is this one. You see, this is side view. So from this side, if we are watching, there is only one line we will see. So this is the side view. So surface 1. Okay. If this is surface 1 and another, this one is the source charge. Another, if we are assuming opposite to the concept that the 2 equipotential surface are intersecting each other. Just like the case of electric field lines do not intersect each other, similar is the case here. that electric field is, you know that it is at the tangent at any point over the electric field lines. This one is the electric field lines. Then at any point electric field is tangent, is represented by tangent to that point over the electric field line. This is electric field line. Okay, that was the basic concept you read earlier. So what will happen, the same case here. This is the electric field line, so electric field is represented by tangent, and for the equipotential surface electric field is represented by perpendicular line. So for this surface electric field is here, this is E1, and for this surface electric field is perpendicular to this surface, this is E2. That means at one point there are two directions of electric field. If we place any test charge over this point Q0, what will happen? It may have two direction towards the direction of two electric field, and at one time whether it is possible that one child body is moving in two direction, it cannot be split out, neither it cannot be split out nor it can move towards the two direction at one time. So that is why we can say that this situation is not possible. The intersection of two equipotential surface is not possible. So we can write the third point, intersection of two equipotential surface is not possible. Practically means we are taking it as a practical case. This one is the third important point regarding equipotential surface. I hope this topic is clear to you. There is not much more than these concepts related to equipotential surface topic. Now come to seventh one, relation between electric field and electric potential. E and electric potential V relation. Okay, let's indulge in the topic. We have to identify the relation between the two. Very simple case. Okay. Now take the case here. I am drawing here a coordinate system. This is origin point, and this one is y-axis, x-axis, and we have taken two equipotential surface. The source charge is situated here, and there are two equipotential surface. These are parallel to each other. The surface 1 is at r distance from the origin position where the source charge is placed. This is origin O, and source charge is placed at the origin position, and equipotential surface are this one. Here you will not say that it should be spherical, because to solve this derivation, this relation, we can consider the plane surface, equipotential surface. So we have taken the case. This is surface 1, so we have written the potential at V as V here, and this one is surface 2. We are taking the potential of this surface as V plus dV, and here the position till this point, the position is R, or because we are taking the position over the x-axis, so that is why we can write the position of first surface as x and the position of second surface as x plus dx. Is it okay? You can assume any notation, any symbol. It depends on you, whatever way you are adopting, but the steps and concept should be same here. So the first surface is at x distance and second surface is at x plus dx distance. The first surface potential is V and the second surface potential is V plus dV. Okay, and let one charge is moving away from this source charge. Let the charge is present here, Q naught. So Q naught charge is moving from first surface to second surface. This charge is moving here in this direction. We have taken this case. You have to write down these theoretical part here along with the derivation. Let the charge is moving here in this direction. So first of all, tell me, V is more or V plus dV is more? Whether I have to write it as V plus dV or I have to write it as V minus dV in accordance with the distance. It should be V minus dV. How? Again the same case. Always stick to the basic concept. Never run away, never be confused from the basic concept. Each and every concept is used in the further topic because each and every topics are interrelated. Even mechanics is also related to this electrostatic field of physics. So that is why never ever be distracted from the basic concept of physics. Here it is electrostatic and mechanics. Never be distracted. So here we will take the case because V is equal to what? 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R. So greater the distance, lesser the potential. Here the distance from the origin for the second surface is greater than the first surface. So that is why distance is greater. So potential should be lesser. So we must choose it as V minus of dV. And the distance is what? X plus dx. Here for the first surface the distance is x. Okay. So I think all the points are clear to you now. Now we will take the case here that we need to find out the relation between electric field and electric potential. So first of all, that force. Which force? Electrical force. The force applied by the source charge over the test charge. The test charge should move here in the direction, in the right direction towards the positive x-axis because the source charge is present at origin. So we will take force applied on the test charge. So F should be equal to, किस पर apply हो रहा है? Q naught पे. So Q naught and the electric field of source charge is E. So Q naught into E. This is force. Okay. Now you know that in accordance with the basic concept, small amount of work to move this charge from first surface to second surface, that can be given as dW. So you can write it as work done in moving the charge from Q naught charge from surface V to V minus dV. That work should be equal to how much? Force multiplied by displacement. So displacement, how much displacement? X plus dx minus x. So we will take it, initially we will write x plus dx minus x. How much will be the result? X and x will be cancelled out and you will get only dx. So it will come as dx. Okay, is clear? Now F dx, force and displacement both are in same direction. So dot I have not applied here. If you will apply here dot, so two more steps you have to write. First of all, dot in between this product, and force and displacement both are in same direction. So cos theta is equal to cos 0 and cos 0 is equal to 1. So no need to apply here. I have written it as F dx because initially we have chosen the similar condition. So it is F dx. Now put the value of F from the equation 1. So dW is equal to Q naught E into dx. That is the situation. And what is the value of dW? Work done. Work done to move the positive charge. Now see the left hand side case. The concept apply over the next this left hand side case. The positive charge is moving from higher potential to lower potential. Okay. The positive charge is moving from higher potential to lower potential. So what we have to write? We have to write the final potential minus of initial potential. that we have to write. So we will write here as V minus dV minus of V. This one is the final potential where the charge is going to reach, and V is what? It is the initial potential. So that is equal to Q naught E into dx. Okay, now you can see V and V you can cancel out. V and V cancel out, you will get it as minus of dV Q naught E into dx. Okay, one more time we have to apply here. dW is not equal to potential. You know one relation, that potential or potential difference is equal to work divided by test charge over which the work is applied. So work is equal to what? Test charge multiplied by potential. So here along with this potential we need to write Q naught. Okay, so because it is the test charge over which the work is applied here, so we will write it as minus of Q naught. Q naught and Q naught will be cancelled out, and we will get the result electric field is equal to minus of dV divided by dx. That is the relation between electric field and electric potential. It is known as gradient. So this one is called potential gradient. Mathematically it is called gradient. So this term is called gradient. We can write this term here in this manner. E is equal to minus of gradient sign, here it is given in this manner. So gradient of V, del dot V. And remember, this electric field is a vector quantity and electric potential is a scalar quantity. There is a relation between scalar quantity and vector quantity. So when you will go through the that vector analysis, there is one important topic of mathematics which will come in graduation, in BTech or as well as in BSc. That vector analysis is one of the most important book of mathematics. There you will get, there is a relation between vector and scalar by this way. Gradient of V, there is a dot product. So E is equal to minus of del dot V. Okay, you can note down. So this is all in this topic, that electric field and electric potential are related by the potential gradient terms. Okay, minus sign indicate that whenever there is an increase in potential, there is a decrease in electric field, corresponding electric field. Okay, or vice versa, means electric field, if it is in the increasing order, there must be a decrease in potential. You can see here the electric field is more and here the electric field is less. Corresponding potential you can see with the minus sign here. Minus indicates there is a decrease in the potential value corresponding to the electric field. Okay, these are very deep and very important part of electrostatic. Many twisted questions, many more twisted questions that are asked in different competitive examinations and that will be asked too. So always remember, go in deep, but you have to repel out. Now come to the next term, and the next term is what? Eighth topic, which is the last topic today, is electrostatic potential energy in external field and without external field. This is one of the most interesting topic for me. I always enjoy this topic because I want to solve these kind of things, and I will be very happy to tell you about these topics. I have drawn one separating line here. One is without field, external field, and one is with external field. Means what we have to identify? We have to identify electrostatic potential energy. Without field, with field. Okay. So take the case here. There are, without field I am taking the case, there are different charges here. One is Q1, one is Q2, one is Q3, and they are situated at infinity. All the charges are situated at infinity. That means there is no interaction between the charges. So what will happen when they are coming closer to form a system? Now I am drawing here the dotted line. Dotted line means what? Infinity distance. So from the dotted line they are coming closer to each other. So they will make one system. Here now the position of Q1 is A, the position of Q2 is B, and position of Q3 is C. So A, B, C, this will form a system of 3 charges. We can take initially 2 charges, 2 charge system, 3 charge system, 4 charge system, N charge system, and so on. So here I have taken the 3 charge system. You can take more cases. So for initially take the 2 charge system. Now I want to rub this 3 charge, third charge here. This was only the 2 charge system. Okay, so from the infinity they are coming closer to each other and they are forming a system of charge. Now they are in interaction with each other, they are forming a system, so that is why they will affect each other. Like the case if the 2 person do not know each other, so what will happen? They don't bother about each other. But if the 2 persons are a good friend, then what will happen? They bother about each and everything of each other. So that is the case here. The 2 charges are at infinity, so there is no need of interaction with each other. They don't know even. Q1 don't know Q2 and Q2 don't know Q1. Okay, that is the case here. But when they come closer to form a system, then they know each other and then they bother about each other, and then they apply force to each other. There is an electrostatic force between each other. They will either attract each other, they will either repel each other, but they will be in the system. So that is the case. So first case I am taking the 2 charge system. Okay, first case, the 2 charge system is here. I have drawn figure here. This is the first case. I will write down the terms here for without external field and then with external field. So what will happen? The first case I am taking here without external field. That means there is no external field here when the 2 charges are coming from infinity to this limiting positions. So that is why. So there will be no applied force when the charge Q1 is coming from infinity to A and charge Q2 is coming from infinity to B. So that means what? No force is applied here. Only the interaction energy will be in the existence when they come closer to each other. So potential energy, electrostatic potential energy U is given as 2 charge minimum are required for the potential energy. Potential energy exists in between the minimum 2 particles. So 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 over R12. This is R12, the distance between the 2 particles within the system. So this is R12. That is the formula for 2 charge system without external field. Okay. Now come to the case of with external field. Now these charges are coming from infinity position to an electric field of a charge. Here this is a charge Q, and or charge Q is not present inside this. Let the charge Q is present here. This one is the source charge and it is presented here. So what will happen? This is the electric field of the charge. So when the Q1 charge is coming closer from infinity to a point A here inside this field, so there must be a force applied on the Q1 charge which is equal to that whatever be the work done, okay, that will be equal to the value of charge multiplied by the potential from infinity to A point. So potential from infinity to A point, let it be VA or V1. For the charge 1 we can write it as V1. So corresponding to distance travelled by the charge is R1. This is the R1 distance which is travelled by charge Q1 from the infinity to A point. This was the case we have discussed in the derivation, potential due to point charge which is coming from infinity to a point in the electric field. So that is the case. So that will be the work done to bring this charge from infinity to point A in the electric field of source charge, that should be Q1 into V1. Work is equal to charge multiplied by potential, because potential is equal to work divided by charge. So here we will get this term. Now the second charge is coming from infinity to B point under the field, electric field of charge Q. So again there must be a force applied to this charge to against the motion of this charge towards the field. So that is why it will be Q2 into V2 R2. And afterward, when they come closer to each other by applying some force by the external agent, then they will form a two charge system. This is the two charge system. So then due to interaction there will be one more energy because of the interaction of charge particle U12. So here we will write here in short, U is equal to, first of all, potential energy of first charge U1 from the infinity to A point, potential energy of second charge from infinity to point B U2, and potential energy due to system of charge U12 due to the two charge system U12. So here the answer will come as, for this U1 we will get here it as Q1 V1, and for U2 we will get it as Q2 into V2, and for this we will get it as 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 over R12. Here R12 is this much distance, okay, in this figure. So this one is the formula for potential energy with external field. So you can see the difference in the two formula. Without external field, for the two charge system, without external field, this is the result, and with external field, this one is the result. Again, for the three charge system. Now this is just like a game for you. We can write easily. For the three charge system, we will take the three charge case. One charge Q1 is coming from infinity to a point A. Second charge Q2 is coming from infinity to point B. And third charge Q3 is coming from infinity to point C. And now ABC is a system of three charge. Okay. So without field, there should be no work to bring this charge Q1, Q2 and Q3 from infinity to the field, because there is no field here. No source charge is present here, for which there may be any field here, because it is the case of without external field. So no field is applied here. So that is why they can easily come from infinity, and now they will come in interaction with each other. So due to interaction, the potential energy in between the Q1 and Q3 charge, it will be U13. Between Q3 and Q2 charge, U23. And between Q1 and Q2 charge, U12. Okay. So these will be the three potential energy without external field. There is no external field here. So the formula for potential energy, that should be U12 plus U23 plus U31. 31 or 13 both are same thing. So you can write down the formula. This we can take as K to make the terms some smaller. So we have taken this value as K. U12. 12 means what? Q1 Q2 divided by R12. 23 means Q2 Q3 divided by R23. And U31 Q3 Q1 divided by R31. So that is the formula for three charge system potential energy, electrostatic potential energy without external field. Now how many terms would come here for with external field? I hope you understood now, and you can easily tell how many terms will come in the right hand side for the potential energy, electrostatic potential energy for three charge system in the external field. So that will come as 6 term. First is U1, U2, U3, then U12, U23, U31. That is why I like this topic. It's just like a mathematical game. U is equal to U1. You can write, see the step. U1 is what? U1 is what? Q1 V1. You can hear. If the field is applied, there must be a work done over this charge to bring from infinity to a point A. So that work is corresponding to the potential energy of charge Q1. So here Q1V, then it is Q2V2, then Q3V3, and K you can take common, and all these three terms will come here for the interaction of energy. Both are same here. So we'll write it as Q1 Q2 over R12 plus Q2 Q3 over R23 plus Q3 Q1 over R31. Okay, so that is the term corresponding to three charge system. And in my next class, I want to share more and more topics now related to these one, but because the video will be much more longer, and it will be some boring to you if it takes so much time. So that is why I'm going to stop the topic now, and we will discuss more topics later on. Basically, we will go to the next topic, that is capacitance, in my next lecture. Okay, so thank you for today, and hope you will do that questions which I have discussed today and which I have asked you today, and write the answer of these questions in my comment box. Thank you.